Hey cats, what's happening? I'll give you an update on my Yamaha here. I've been working on it, little bits here and there, kind of moving from one thing to the other. I get started on something and then I realize that I'm going to need something for it, or I need to add something to it. So I go back in the house, I get on the computer and I look up the part or the material that I need and order it, and then it takes, sometimes a week for it to get here. So in the meantime, I'm doing other things. So one of the things I've been working on here, I had to remove the old gasket off of this, and oh my gosh, was it a pain in the neck. That gasket material was just glued on there or something awful. I don't know if you ever had to deal with that before. It was not only on that, but it was on the side cover too, the clutch cover, and this one that I haven't even started on yet. I got most of the gasket off of there, but I still got a lot of cleanup to do on that. I'm going to disconnect this is the auto oiler, it automatically oils. I'm going to disconnect that and we'll just mix fuel in the gas tank. So I've been doing that, and that's real time consuming, scraping that old gasket stuff off of there, and there's really nothing that works really well. The other thing I had done was I had filled the fuel tank up with vinegar a couple times to clean out the inside of it, and at this point it's looking pretty good. The vinegar worked pretty good, and then it was quite an extensive process flushing the thing out, because I bet you I flushed it over a dozen times, and every time rust would come out, until I finally got it to the point where it was just clean water coming out of there with no rust particles. And then the other thing I had to do is dry it afterwards. So I took it in the house and I had my wood burner going, and I stuck it by the wood burner where the air would blow right through here, and it actually warmed up the tank real warm, and it evaporated all of I had it there for like 2 days, so it's dry now and it's ready for the treatment. I'm going to treat it today, and I'm going to use this gold standard tank sealer. It's pretty basic stuff that made by KBS that people use to seal gas tank, to do any kind of a fuel tank, and it'll seal them up almost permanently. So the other thing that I found was I was working on the gas cap. Now I'm no expert at this, so I learned by trial and error. I mean, I really don't have a lot to go on. I don't have a teacher here, so, I learn things as I go along. So, I pulled the gas cap off, and I originally thought, well, I just need this rubber gasket to go on there. But I couldn't find one online, and I had really searched pretty hard. In fact, the one site that I had been using said that it was no longer available. And that made things real difficult, so I ended up making one out of a piece of rubber, which would have worked, but I don't know that it's not like neoprene rubber, so the fuel might have eaten that up. The other thing that I learned, I went online and I finally ended up finding the right rubber gasket for the gas cap. So I had the new rubber gasket on there, and I had this snapped shut when I had the vinegar in there, and I didn't realize it, but the vinegar kind of warped and messed up this. So I had to go back to the drawing board. Now, I searched online, and finally I found this on the gas cap. Now, look at all the parts for that thing. I mean, that's kind of a blow-up of it. There's got to be over a dozen parts to this gas cap. And then I realized that there's actually 3 rubber gaskets, parts to this gas cap. So I ended up ordering those, and I completely rebuilt the gas cap again for like the 5th time. So now it's done, and it's ready to go back on the tank, but I'm not going to do that just yet. I'm going to seal it first. So when I seal it, I'm just going to tape over these openings so that I don't get the you don't want that tank sealer to get all up into this, because this is vented, you know. It's made so that it'll vent air, vent pressure out of the gas tank, but it won't allow the fuel to spill out either. So today I am going to treat that with the tank sealer, and I don't know, it might be a little bit of a project, but we'll see how it goes. Now, before I did any of the sealing too, I had to take the petcock off of there. Look at this thing. It's destroyed. There's no saving this thing. So again, back to the computer, order another new petcock for that. Before the gas tank should be finished at that point and back in serviceable condition. So I'm happy about that. I had been playing around with the carburetor, and it's kind of a mess, and I had the wrong kit to rebuild it, so I couldn't do that. So what I ended up doing was I went online and I ordered a brand new carb for the bike. They're not that expensive. To be surprisingly honest, they're cheap, so I thought, why not? I'll just get a new carb for it. So that's done too. In working on removing, I had to remove the automatic oiler cable that feeds the oil to the engine. I had to remove the clutch cable, and doing so, I found that these levers were, one of them was broken, the cable was all frayed, so I ended up taking all that apart, and I ended up ordering new levers. So those haven't come yet. The other thing I had to get was the adjusters. One of them was broken, this one's all rusted, so I got brand new adjusters for the cables. So when I put all that back together, I'll have all new parts. But I'm not going to put that back together until I take these handlebars off and clean the rust off of them. So it's just an ongoing process. One thing leads to another, and it's just a whole can of worms. So I've been piddling around on it. So let's see what we can do with this gas tank. First thing I want to do is tape off the hole there. So I got some painter's tape I'm going to put over that. I'm going to put the screws back in there too, cut away where the screw holes are. Got the new JIS screwdriver. Put those screws back on, and that kind of help to hold that tape down a little bit too, so it doesn't come loose. Alright, that's sealed off. Now what I'm going to do on this is put my gas cap back on. And I definitely don't want the sealer to get up into this, because that's the vented part. So I got a plan. I got a sandwich bag I'm going to put over that, so that when it snaps down, you know, the glue will get on the sandwich bag and not up in there. That'll seal that off. Alright, now I'm ready to put the sealer in there, so I'm going to mix that up, make sure that's mixed up real good, and then we're going to pour it into the tank. Well, I'll tell you what, that was one tough can to get open. I used the paint can opener I got from Home Depot, but I used a screwdriver and everything else, and it didn't come off easy. So I'm going to stir this up real good. I shook it quite a bit, but I'm going to stir it too. You don't want to get this on your hands. Some people wear safety glasses when they use this stuff, or a respirator. I guess it's pretty nasty. I don't know. And you'll see I made my makeshift paper funnel, so I'm going to just oh no! Okay, we had a little bit of a disaster. The funnel flipped out and this stuff went everywhere. All cleaned up though. So now we're going to put the sandwich bag over the hole and clamp that shut. And now what I want to do is take the gas tank and flip it and roll it until I get a complete coating over the whole interior of this thing with that tank sealer. I want to keep doing this until I make sure it's completely coated all over everything in there. I don't want to have to take it apart again and find out that I missed something, so I'll just keep rotating it here for a while. I'm in no rush. Well, now I got a pretty good coat in there, so you'll see now that it's the whole tank looks pretty good from everything that I see. It looks like it's completely sealed up now, so gotta let that cure for a couple days before you do anything with it, and I'm in no rush. I got no plans to put fuel in it anytime soon, so I'm just gonna let it sit and let it dry. Alright, that was a success, and I got it propped, so you know, I don't want this stuff to pool up around the cap, so I want to kind of run in the bottom. I don't want to pool up around where I got to put the petcock back in there either, so I just kind of got it propped, so if there's any pooling, it'll be down on that bottom side. FedEx guy just came. Another package. Let's open this up and see what we got. I order so many things, I tend to forget what I got and what I didn't get. When all else fails, get the scissors out. Gee whiz. What did we get? The levers. So I'm like a kid at Christmas. It's just about every day I'm getting more parts, you know, being delivered on this thing. It's going to end up being a money pit before I'm done, but that's okay. I want it to be in good shape. I want everything to work right. I don't want any broken pieces, you know. These things were in bad shape, so I just got new ones. Plus, you know, I don't want to get the levers and find out the levers aren't compatible with these brackets either. So everything's going to be new. New cables I got for it. So yeah, everything should be in working order. Well, I've been tinkering on that bike all morning, and it's a beautiful day, and it's like 65 degrees, so I gotta wash up, and I'm gonna take a little ride. Thanks for joining me today with the work on the Yamaha. I'll keep piddling around on it little by little as I get the time. And I got plenty of time on my hands lately, so I got a lot accomplished today though on it, so I'm pretty happy with that. But thanks for joining me, guys. you liked the video, hit me with a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe to my videos. Until next time, ride hard and die free.